What is up, Alsonauts? How are you doing on this lovely Friday, June 10th? I'm doing pretty good today. Hopefully everyone has had a nice week. If not, then hopefully it gets better. And you know, there's always tomorrow. But I wanted to bring you this channel update to cover a few topics. Of course, as I mentioned before, Friday updates will basically be going over what happens next week. And for next week, I have 4 Nauts for you to choose for the next week of. So we have Raylan, Ayla, Nibs, and Ulib. So we have 4 characters. Pick which one you would prefer to see me play next week. And hopefully, like, when you see me play this character, hopefully I know a bit about them. The only ones I really know about are Ayla and Nibs. Raylan, to some extent, my least played Naut out of all those is Ulib. So if you want to see something that I might do a little bit worse, or I might not have as much knowledge with that character yet, then you can choose Ulib. Otherwise, you have the 3 other options. And speaking of which, this will be a 4 video week, so it's going to be one short of what usually happens, and that's because I finally have been getting the one video that I wanted to get, that I talked about in a previous update, out for this upcoming Friday. It's something related to Nauts. It's not entirely too much different than what I'm doing, but it's different enough to test the waters for some other ideas that I have in the future. So that should be a lot of fun, and it will be interesting to see how everyone likes it. With all of that out of the way, let me give you a quick update on myself and what happened in this past week. So other than making content, uploading it, and all of that good stuff, I've still been exercising pretty much 4 times a week. I used to do it 5, but I found out that the exercises that I've been currently doing have been like really exhausting, and I kind of need that extra 3rd day to recover before I can like go back on it again. And also I'm doing a 30-day challenge, which I'm almost complete with, which is pretty cool. It's the boxer challenge that I started halfway through the month of May, and it's definitely been pretty hard doing some of these, especially the punches. Everything else hasn't been like too hard or anything, but it's still been a challenge. I met my goals, and I'm really close to actually making my goal. And because last year around December, I would say mid-December or maybe early December, I made not really a resolution for the next year, but I just made a whole lifestyle change on the way I actually eat, and the way I actually exercise, and the way I actually think. And during this whole time, I lost around 50 pounds, because currently I am 114, and before I probably like lost like 53 or something. And in the last 6 months, I got all the way down to currently 214, which is really amazing. It's a nice change, and definitely one that was needed, because I've been like at a lower weight during high school and all that stuff when I was like a lot more active. But during the course of the last 5 years of a lot of stuff changing, a lot of stress has happened. Finally, I'm getting over that during the course of the last couple years of mentally preparing myself. Over the last years, it was a really interesting experience seeing my life change, and it's just been something that is weird to think about now, but I'm kind of glad that all this stuff has happened. I don't really regret anything too much, as it's a life experience. Other than that, I did get a monitor. My monitor actually came in really early this week. It was actually stated for next Monday, but it came on Tuesday. That was like over a week earlier than expected, but I kind of knew, because Amazon has that thing where they say they're gonna ship it later, but it arrives early. But this monitor is really awesome. I've been enjoying it. It's really weird though, going from a HD TV to a monitor. You can probably see my monitor right now. Take a screenshot of it, and now I have a 3-way setup, so I use my TV for videos or something if I like want to watch something on that. But I have my whole setup switched. I changed around my room, and now I have 2 other screens. So playing games is a lot more, I don't know, engaging now with the smaller monitor. Although it's a 25-inch, so it's a pretty good size still. It's just really strange. It's going from something bigger to something smaller, and it's been about, I think, 6 or so years since I actually played games on an actual gaming monitor. So that's something that's been really weird to adjust to. Been pretty fun, and some games like I feel like I got a lot better in terms of probably being able to see stuff. It'll be a lot interesting when I go back to certain games. I haven't played Naut, so for the next week of, it's going to be entirely on this new monitor. I want to see how that turns out, since I'll be able to see stuff a lot more. Before, I had a little weird setup where my desk was kind of blocking the mini map, so I might be able to recognize some things and not die as much, or maybe be able to help my team or secure a kill or something like that. Besides that, everyone, that is this channel update. I think it went on a little longer than I really wanted it to. You know, started to ramble. This isn't scripted, so this goes on a little bit longer. I'm not as precise or anything with that. About that. Well, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm not as organized as I usually am. But what's a little unorganization? You know, just something more weird, generic, something. I don't really know how to end this, but I better end this soon because this is kind of getting awkward. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week for the next week of.